Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you with us today as we continue our journey through the scriptures. We're diving into the book of Leviticus, specifically chapters 11 and 12. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Leviticus can seem a bit dense with all its rules and regulations. But trust me, there's so much wisdom and context to uncover here that's fascinating and relevant, even for us today. So, let's start with chapter 11. This chapter lays out the famous dietary laws for the ancient Israelites, what's considered clean and unclean. God makes a distinction between animals that live on the land, in the water, and in the air. For land animals, the rule is pretty straightforward. They must have a divided hoof and chew the cud. This is why animals like cows and sheep were considered clean, while others, like pigs, were not. For sea creatures, the rule was they had to have both fins and scales. This meant that things like shrimp and lobster, which are popular today, were off the menu for the Israelites. And when it came to birds, the text gives a list of specific birds that were to be avoided, mostly birds of prey and scavengers. There's even a section on insects, permitting only certain types of locusts. Now, the big question is, why all these rules? Scholars have debated this for centuries. Some believe these were primarily for health and hygiene. In a hot climate without refrigeration, avoiding scavengers or bottom dwellers that might carry diseases makes a lot of practical sense. It was a way of protecting the community's physical well-being. Another powerful perspective is that these laws were about creating a distinct identity for God's people. By eating differently, they were constantly reminded that they were set apart for a special purpose. These daily choices in the kitchen and at the dinner table were a form of worship, a constant acknowledgement of their unique relationship with God. It was about holiness, which in its most basic sense means to be set apart. God says, "Be holy, because I am holy." These laws were a tangible, everyday way for the people to live out that calling. Now let's move on to chapter 12. This chapter is much shorter and deals with the laws of purification after childbirth. After a woman gave birth, she was considered ceremonially unclean for a period of time. It was 40 days for a son and 80 days for a daughter. After this period, she was to bring an offering to the temple, a lamb for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering. If she couldn't afford a lamb, she could bring 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons instead. It's important to understand what unclean means here. It's not about being sinful or dirty. It's a ritual state. Childbirth, like many powerful life events involving blood and the creation of life, was seen as something that put a person in a sacred and set-apart state, temporarily removing them from normal temple activities. This period of separation was also a practical blessing, giving the new mother time to rest, recover, and bond with her newborn without the pressure of other social or religious duties. The provision for a smaller offering for those who were poor is a beautiful detail. It shows God's compassion and understanding. He isn't concerned with the monetary value of the gift, but with the heart of the giver. This is the very same offering that Mary and Joseph brought after Jesus was born, as we read in the Gospel of Luke, which tells us about their humble circumstances. So, as we look at Leviticus 11 and 12, we see it's not just a random list of old rules. It's about health, identity, holiness, and God's compassionate care for His people in the everyday realities of life. From what they ate to the miracle of bringing new life into the world, it was all designed to draw them closer to Him and to shape them into the people He called them to be. Thank you so much for joining me today to explore these chapters. If you found this helpful or interesting, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you won't miss our next study. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care.